Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we cover a new character every week. This week we're doing Venom, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Steven.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you folks doing? How are you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing good.
I'm glad to hear it. How are you doing, Steven?
No torrential rainpour, so yeah, we're doing well.
Big improvement from last week.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Now it's just scorchingly hot.
Yeah. Well, we're only going to have it for one day up here, and then we'll have a storm, and we've got they said 78 degrees after that. So.
Oh my gosh, I'm jealous. I'm working outside tomorrow, and it will be over 100. It will not be fun. I'm doing all right.
Do not get exhausted. Do not give any excuses for not attending the tournament.
I will not hurt myself the day before the tournament. We do not have Brandon again this week, so he is on a new schedule where he is closing most nights that we're doing a record. So we're gonna have to figure out a new thing. I don't know. We'll have to come up with some different plan than what we're doing. But for this week, we're going to continue on just the three of us. All right. So I guess let's go into the news that we've heard since AMG over the past week. AMG came out with a story that they're going to release information on August 2nd. It's a little frustrating. It's a story telling us when they're going to tell us something. I guess that's the day before Gen Con starts, so it's probably a big rollout for Gen Con, but it is still. I just want to know. I want to know what they want to tell us.
Well, they're
Fred, it's
probably
only 6 days away.
yeah, and they're probably telling us what models are coming out because we don't know what's coming out anytime.
It's been the dry spell. And they're gearing up to have a show off at Gen Con circumstance, I think, is what's happening. Yeah. I've got a question. Have either one of you two been to Gen Con before?
No.
I went, I think it was in 2015, and I had a blast. It was a ton of fun. That is a very cool con to go to. But that was the last time I went. Indianapolis is quite a long drive, and I'm getting older. I'm getting older.
Fun
that
fact,
sort of thing.
Fun fact, I've never been to any large cons.
Really? Like, actually? You've never been?
No, I haven't been to Adepticon, Gen Con, Nova, LVO, any of the others that are starting to pop up also.
So. Gen Con was by far the biggest con I've been to, but I've gone to a couple cons, and every single time it's a ton of fun. It's just hanging out with the most nerds in a given geographic region, and that's always fun. It's always fun to do.
Well, yeah, I was just talking to one of our locals today, Chris, and since we're a little bit older and our disposable income is, getting up there, me with residual income and he being an engineer, we floated out we might see about going to LVO. So
that would be cool. You got to get qualified. You got to get the. Are you planning to go to any of the qualifiers?
No, I just want to play as many games as possible.
That's fair. That's fair.
You just want to go. Put me in the mix.
Yeah.
So, but okay. I've never been to Las Vegas either, so it's a good enough excuse. So.
Yeah, I have never been to Las Vegas either. It seems like a town.
It's a world away.
Yeah. It would be it would be one to fly to. I would want to go there once. It seems like it would be a very fun place to go, but I would have to be very cautious.
Now, I say this about cons, and you're talking to a person who actually went to see a band uh, that I totally enjoy, and I went to Switzerland to see them. Okay, so
Oh, wow. Okay.
so yeah, me not being to Vegas or to any major cons is probably a mark against my my geek card. So
That being said, I would love to go to Switzerland. Uh, well,
it's expensive, Fred. Just be
I
prepared.
I imagine.
Well, this was like in 2010, and I got there, and the person I traveled with, we got there a little bit late, and the restaurants, were starting to close up because everything starts to close up at 10. But we found this place that was open till midnight, and we got a medium pizza, which was 10 inches. Okay, and it
Okay.
cost $40.
Holy moly. Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
Holy moly. Okay. Well, so I'm going to not go to Switzerland in the near future.
Like I said, it's expensive. So
What was
we
the
were
band?
Skinny Puppy.
Okay, I've never heard of them.
Oh, maybe you should listen to some of their stuff.
Okay. I'll have to look them up. But that is not the purview of this podcast. We're not a music review podcast. Uh so was there any other important piece of information in the news from
Yes.
AMG?
Yeah.
Uh
The next mini extravaganza will be September 14th to 16th. Those are always fun. I like those, and they're gonna have stuff for all their games. Oh, it's specifically the announcement on August 2nd is about MCP. That's important.
yes.
It is just
Yeah.
about MCP. And then they said that they're going to make big announcements twice a year. Adepticon in March and the mini extravaganza in September.
I wish they would do their announcements like the mini extravaganza according to how well the games are doing in comparison to each other. Now I know Shatterpoint's going to be an outlier, but having Star Wars all the time is kind of it's
Well,
not exactly boring, but I understand people play it. You know what I mean?
there probably is a lot more Star Wars player than there are MCP players.
Well, that needs to change.
I also think part of it is they're trying to get this game up and going. They're like throwing a lot of effort behind it to begin with, which is understandable.
I guess I'm just waxing nostalgic for the days when they only had MCP.
Yeah. Back when every news item was a feast for the eyes for us MCP players.
I wouldn't even mind if they did it on a yearly basis for each license. You know what I mean?
Well, they're doing it twice a year for everybody.
Right. I know, but have one announcement, like say in September for like MCP, and then like go to like January or December and do like Armada, and then in March do Shatterpoint, and then in June do X-Wing, on a rotating schedule.
I think that the reason they're doing just the two big ones is so they don't spend as much time not actually working on the games.
Right.
They probably want to spend as much time working on the games as possible.
Well, yeah, and we don't know what their model is, so on and so forth. I'm just one of those compartmentalized people that's like, okay, we're working on this, and you work on announcements for that thing, and you concentrate on that until it's done, and then you go to the next one. I'm just one of those people, I guess. So, which is probably why I'm not a game designer. So,
I completely understand. It would be just too much. But let's move on. There is going to be a tournament in South Charleston on was it August the 19th?
Yes.
August 19th in at the Lost Legion game store in South Charleston. So if you're interested in playing a game, come on down. Uh, and there is going to be one on Saturday. That would be on the 29th of
Mhm.
July. Is it 29th? Yes.
Yes, yes.
On Saturday the 29th at Fabricators Forge, and I believe that all three of us plan to be there. So
Yes.
come on down.
And Brandon won't be.
Brandon won't be. Yeah. So
That's a shame.
you
That's a
know,
shame.
if Brandon would ever show up to one of these events, we could like do a little contest for people, and then draw somebody out of the hat, and they have to go through the crit hit wild gauntlet, right?
And someone has to play each one of us.
Yeah.
That poor soul.
In the game I used to play before MCP, one of the first tournaments I went to, I played the two creators of the game, round 1, then round 2.
Oh boy. Was
And
this
I beat
Guild
them
Ball?
both. Yeah,
Oh wow. Oh wow.
it was Guild Ball. I beat Rich Locks of round 1 and Matt Hart round 2. For people who know
Oh
who they
boy.
are,
I miss Guild Ball.
it's a
Oh
good
well.
game. We can still play, Fred.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't come take away our toys.
I know.
It's just not the same as a Fred.
It's just not. And also I need to have some free time to actually do it, which I have not had. So
Mm.
but okay. Have there been any games that you all have played recently that you want to talk about? I have not for a while. Oh boy, I'm rusty.
Fred, I haven't played a game since you played a game.
Okay.
So
How about you, Steven?
I'm the only one getting practice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did play a game today, and I took out my Midnight Suns. I've been, like I said, precast. I've been playing a Cabal Red Skull Cabal list that Brandon and I created. I did a couple of tweaks to it, and it's actually been doing pretty well enough that I might think about doing that list for the tournament instead of the Midnight Suns. But I wanted to take Hulkbuster for a run, see what he did, and he did a lot. So eventually I lost that game through some misplays, and Blade and Dr. Voodoo just whiffing on everything. So
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it does. So I mean, no big deal. But I was down 12-4. I was playing the new M'Baku Wakanda, actually. And he was running a bunch of people that did tricky stuff with wilds. Like he ran Killmonger and Black Panther as his core with M'Baku. And then he ran Gamora and Dr. Octopus.
Ooh.
So he found out that Dr. Octopus did not do well.
Oh, okay. I like that list though. That is an interesting list.
Well, I suggested that for a 3-point on a 19, like we were playing. We were playing Demons and the Senators, the 6.1.
Yep.
That he might have wanted Zemo instead.
Instead of
Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's a long mover. He has a charge. He lets people reroll something just to, in effect, almost get that wild. He's got Master Swordsman, right? So he's like Black Panther and rerolling everything when he needs to. So, I think he'd be a little bit better for that list than Dr. Octopus was.
Yeah, I would generally agree. I think Baron Zemo is the right choice a lot of the time as someone to bring. But I get why you would put Doc Ock in the list.
Yeah,
I understand the idea.
Yeah, but Doc Ock, you know, in my estimation, Doc Ock only goes one place, and that's in Spider Foes, because that's where, he's got a tactic card that he can share, and it's a medium mover with wall crawler, right? So he doesn't exactly fit in a lot of other places. But
Yeah.
needless to say, he went up because because that list, the bucket list, hits really hard. It kind of surprised me. On turn two, Blade, Voodoo, and Black Cat were dazed.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and he was up in points 12 to 4.
Goodness gracious. Was it what was really doing the work? Was it Killmonger
No,
or
just those wilds hitting and
yeah,
then just turning into something else. And we were on Demons Downtown, so being incinerated didn't help, obviously.
right.
But and then in addition to those three, I had Wong and Hulkbuster, and Hulkbuster did a ton of work. So, but the game ended up being 14-16. So that tells you how far
Yeah,
I
you
came
came
along.
back. You rolled
Yeah,
back in.
because Hulkbuster is just he's stupid. Oh my god, he's stupid.
Honestly, I've played against him a couple times and he's not been incredible. Like he didn't do amazing. I mean, he does as much work as you would expect a 6-point model to do, but
Where did you play him
it
though?
didn't take my breath away.
Where did you play him? What faction? Or what?
Oh boy, I don't even remember. It was I think I was playing against Jared and he was playing him in uh Avengers under his leadership.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
I think. I don't
That
remember exactly.
that bump on Hulkbuster that's where it gets stupid,
Oh yeah, that being able to move that big of a model
because he's a
for one.
large base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, well, like I said, Strange is good at 5. He's not good at 6 because he's not that 6. Hulkbuster only at the end of the game, Hulkbuster had 2 damage on him. The game ended with M'Baku running to the back point and picking up one of the senators because he was on 1 health, and
Yeah.
bleeding on top of that. Whereas I still had Voodoo and Hulkbuster still there, and Hulkbuster only had 2 damage on him.
Right. So you were attrition wise way ahead, but they just pulled out the win.
Yeah,
Well,
their attrition kind of surprised me in the beginning. It's you If you go up against M'Baku, I would say one, find a target. If they don't put out M'Baku, find a target and take it off the table as quick as you can. Because once that leadership gets rolling, it's pretty hard to stop, to be honest.
Okay, that's valuable information for
Right.
when we go up against M'Baku.
Yeah, because like I said, his leadership with all the models he was playing, except Doc Ock, who didn't get to attack once because I had Hulkbuster go right into him. He and Killmonger, but Voodoo and Blade failed to do their jobs against Gamora and Black Panther.
Yeah.
So, because they're vulnerable to mystic attacks, and it's like Blade rolled 7 dice mystic attack against Gamora, and she did her it was martial prowess where she adds 2 dice, and
Yes, yeah.
I rolled like five shields and 2 skulls. It was like ridiculous. I'm
Oh
like,
boy.
really? I'm taking 2 damage? Okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
Shoot his priest. I mean, it was ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
and since Blade did so poorly, that's why I'm like, maybe I just do Red Skull Cabal. So
I
when
mean,
it
but
was
Blade
time,
usually does great. Blade's usually a pretty high performer.
Yeah, but this is the first time I played Midnight Sun since I went to Fabricators Forge last month.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're considering taking the Red Skull Cabal, I think that you should. I think that would be something to really throw. No one is expecting Red Skull to show up,
Except anybody
and
who listens to the podcast.
well, yeah, that's fair. I think that some of the people who will be at that tournament listen, so there's a pretty good chance that they will hear this. But that Red Skull Cabal list would be fun. It would be fun.
But like I said, I got to take out Hulkbuster, and he was quite fun.
That's fair too.
I'm I don't I don't have Punisher done because I hate painting fingers that are wrapped around things like rifles or detonators. So my frustration with Punisher, if I get them done tomorrow, I might stick them somewhere. But for the moment, he'll be sidelined until the next tournament I go to, I guess. So
Okay. I am not going to bring Punisher myself, mostly because I was trying to put him into the list. I was thinking about it, and in almost every single case, there's another 3-pointer that I want to put in who is affiliated, and just the fact that he is not affiliated with Midnight Suns makes it so I don't want to put him in.
well, I would say the only way that you run Punisher is if you're running all 9 members of the Midnight Suns, so he doesn't make a difference. You know what I mean?
Well, but still, I mean, I in a game, if I've got a 3-point slot that's open, it's gonna be Moon Knight and Iron Fist going in there, and then if I have both of them, and there's a place for her, it'll be Black Cat. Like he's the 4th one. So
But if you have to
I,
go 18 wide on hammers,
I mean, maybe I'll still think about it. I'll still think about it.
I know you run hammers. Come on. So
Yeah, that's true. That I do. All right. Well, let's move on. Is there anything else? Is there any Cerebro news that you want to talk about there, Brad?
No, I do not have any Cerebro news.
Okay. Then I think that we should move on to Venom. So the character we're doing today is Venom. His name is Eddie Brock. He has 7 stamina on his healthy side and 6 stamina. Oh boy, daggone it!
on his injured
On
side,
his injured side. I just navigated away from him accidentally. He is a slow mover, but he's on a medium base, so it's not as brutal if he was on a small base. He is size 3. He is threat 4. His defensive stats are 4 physical, 2 energy, and 3 mystic. I'll go over his attack suite here. His first attack is a physical attack called Symbiote Tendrils. It's range 3 and does 5 dice, and it costs 0. It has the normal builder rule, and after the attack is resolved, the target character gains the bleed special condition. There's no trigger, it just happens. And then the next attack is called We Are Venom. It is a physical attack, range 3. It throws 7 dice, and it costs 3 power. And after the attack is resolved, this character removes 1 damage from itself for each damage inflicted. Steven, why don't you go over the first 2 superpowers?
okay, we have an active superpower. This is called Clintar Rage. It will cost you 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature or enemy character, both of size 3 or less and within range 2, and throw it medium. This superpower can be used only once per turn. And then we have an active superpower again called Web Snare. It will cost you 2 power. Push an enemy character within range 4 towards this character medium. A character can be pushed by the superpower only once per turn.
All right, and Brad, why don't you finish out the card?
So many snacks, reactive, cost 2. After attack against this character is resolved, it may use this superpower. The attacker is within range 3. This character may make an attack against the attacker. This superpower can be used only once per turn. Innate symbiotic instincts. When this character is attacking, the defending character cannot modify their defense roll. An innate wall crawler.
Okay, so that is Venom, and I'll start. Oh boy, this guy's good. Oh man. We've done a couple good models that I would consider good. This guy is objectively great. And part of the reason why is the combination of so many snacks and we are Venom. Uh being able to clap back and heal from the attack that you make is amazing. Well, they may do enough damage to you to give you the power you need to hit them back and then heal. It's so It's so hard to deal with if you're up against it as a combination. What are your thoughts about this guy, Steven?
He is the number 2, possibly number 3 character I grab when I'm playing Spider Foes. With
Yeah.
the competition being Rhino, obviously.
Okay.
So, um, yeah, he's definitely not coming in Spider Foes at any point in time. He wrecks people. He just does. I can't say enough about him. I mean, does he have a 2 energy defense? Yes, but if he didn't, I mean, this character would be bonkers crazy, right?
Right. The 2 energy defense is almost needed to make him not overly broken.
And the short move, right?
Right. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Brad?
He's in the talks for best 4-pointer in the game. He's
Yeah.
amazing.
On top of everything that we're saying, he also has a character throw, which is size 3, and you can throw the medium. That's
good.
It's real good. And then on top of that, even he has the ability to pull people towards him from range 4 away, and it only costs him 2 power to do that.
And on top
Like,
of that, Fred, he has wall crawler. So you
and on
never
top
have
of
to
that,
use a shorter stick to
well,
move over terrain.
So I actually have a question about that. Is that entirely unnecessary to put on his card because he's on a small base?
Actually, no, it's not. And
It's not. Okay.
the reason being is
No,
if you have a character that advances somebody, right? Like say I have Rhino and Venom and they're up against a building. If I advance Rhino towards the building, he will stop at the building because he doesn't have wall crawler or flight. Whereas Venom would go over the building and maybe be on the other side of it.
Okay. I misspoke earlier. He's not on a small base. He's on a medium base. He moves small, is what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I see.
There
Like
are
if you
also
have,
there are also random things that interact with wall crawler, and they could make more.
Raven.
okay, but largely I guess
Largely
those
unnecessary.
are largely unnecessary text to put wall crawler on a character that moves slow. On top of everything else, he has symbiotic instincts just to make it so your opponent can't mess with your uh cannot so that would mean that Miles Morales hates this guy.
Storm hates this guy.
Yeah. So wow, everything about this character rules. If you need a character to hold down a point in the middle and weather the storm and then clap back just as hard, this is your character. This character can survive quite a bit and can really hurt your opponent. Oh man, I cannot speak highly enough of Venom.
He's a beast.
He's really good. Is there any tactics cards that are associated with Venom?
Oh yes.
Okay. Uh Oh, yes, there is. What am I talking? Oh yeah. Oh man, there's the tactics card. I can't even believe I forgot about this card. It is one of the better tactics cards in the game. It's called Lethal Protector. And it is an unaffiliated card, reactive. When an enemy character targets an allied character within range 3 of an allied Venom with an attack, Venom may spend 2 power to play this card. Place Venom within range 1 of the allied character. Venom becomes the target of the attack, regardless of range and line of sight. So you can hop him forward, have him take a hit, and if he's close enough, and if he generated enough energy, he can so many snacks, or he can so many snacks, and then we are Venom, and heal any damage taken.
Well, that would be a lot of damage that you would have to put out on him. More
That's
likely,
true.
you're using symbiote tendrils, which can
Yeah.
be very effective because if that character's on 1 and they've done their second attack, they will bleed out.
Yep. Yep.
So if you did enough damage to get them to 1, I should say.
Right.
So,
Right. So this is not quite as good as say a Heroes for Hire, but it's in that same vein.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
And
redirecting somebody else's attack.
yeah. If you have Venom on the table, you probably are taking this card. This card is worth having. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
Are there any other? I don't think there are any other tactics cards that are Venom specific.
There is.
Oh, there is?
Yeah,
one that's not
uneasy
played.
allies.
Oh, right. Uneasy Allies.
Yeah, it doesn't get played. It's not good enough.
Right. I guess we should go over it. I don't have it open. Do you have it open there?
I do. During it's unaffiliated, reactive. During their activation, when Spider-Man or Venom targets an enemy character with an attack that is within 2 of the other allied character, both characters may suffer 1 damage to play this card. Add 3 dice to the attack roll.
Yeah. So just to clarify the wording on this card, um, during their activation, Spider-Man or Venom within range 2 of the other allied character. So that means of Spider-Man or Venom.
Yes.
Like not of any allied character.
No.
It is specifically
Yeah.
Spider-Man
They
or
have to
Venom.
be within range 2 of each other.
Right. And it specifies allied because you could be within range 2 of an enemy Venom,
Yeah.
which happens a lot because Venom sees a lot of play. I'll tell you this. This is a story. I was once in a game where it came down to I was playing Spider Foes versus someone else's Criminal Syndicate, and the game came down to my Kingpin and my Venom versus their Kingpin and their Venom, and that was a fun sequence of events that suddenly shook out. It was everyone was throwing everyone and pulling everyone. It was like a football game all of a sudden. But I think that we should go on and give this gentleman a letter grade. I will start. I think he's an S. I think he's an S character.
Yeah,
I'm
stick with it, Fred, because I also think he's an S character.
okay. Yeah, he's an S character. This guy is one of our biggest, like, he is one of the best 4-pointers in the game. And he will see play for a while. Like, he is going to still see play even as new 4-pointers come out. I think that he has legs as a character that in this game. All right, Brad, what are you giving him?
I already gave him an
I guess you've
S.
already said. You said you're giving him an S. I'm gonna let you talk. If there's anything else you want to
No,
say.
he gets an S. He's really good.
Oh, okay. What are you giving him there, Steven?
I give him an A.
That's fair. Okay.
I
So
don't think he's quite in the tier of somebody like a Voodoo or a Gwenpool, or I don't know if Gwenpool we would count as an S, but I see characters that are above him.
Oh, I know that I don't give Gwenpool an S. I gave her a C minus
C minus.
because I'm wrong.
Well,
It's absolutely wrong.
everybody here is playing her now, and it's quite a menace. So,
so on average, we gave him an S.
yeah, because you throw out the lowest grade, right?
No,
For the average, you throw out the
it's just
lowest.
an A's, not two S's and an A. That A's not low enough to pull it down. It's an S.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I his tactic card is fantastic. His attack suite is good. Um, I wouldn't say fantastic because it's all physical, right? So I mean that
Right.
kind of puts him in a lane. Um,
It is just good
mhm,
as an attack suite.
right. He's got the throw. He's got the web snare. Oh God, do I love the web snare? Oh goodness, do I
Web
love the
snare,
web snare?
it's gold. It's absolute gold.
On Demons Downtown, that's like the best best superpower ever.
Yeah.
Because you get to the middle and you can just snare people off of those sites, the other two, and it's money. Seriously.
Absolutely. Absolutely money. All right. So that's where we are with Venom. He's great. You should play him if you're playing anyone where you just need a big heavy beat stick to hold the middle. Brad, do you have any comic books that contain Venom,
I do.
one of the most popular characters in I guess probably not. That may be
He's
overstating
popular
his
for a Marvel character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up there. He's no Peter Parker or even a Peter Porker, but I'm just kidding. He's way more popular than Peter Porker. So Venom, I have two recommendations here. The first one is called Venom Dark Origin. It's by Zeb Wells and it's probably Angel Medina. This is a modern retelling of Eddie Brock becoming Venom. And it focuses more on Eddie than the original storyline. So it's really from his perspective. So I thought Venom fans, even if they've read the origin or watched the animated series that did the origin very well, that this might be a different take that you might enjoy. And I couldn't
Okay.
pass up the opportunity to talk about Venom Separation Anxiety, which they took the name for the pretty cool alternate play experience in MCP.
Right.
This is Howard Mackey and Ron Randall. Eddie and Venom have split, and Eddie is taken to a research facility, and then a bunch of Venom's children come and kidnap him from the research facility. This is like a bunch of those other symbiotes that became popular, like Phage and stuff. But they have a plan to reunite him with the Venom symbiote.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
this,
is this
this
the introduction of all of those I shouldn't say sub,
I
but
think
other
some of them have shown up before. Some of them are new, and they're all in one place. Like they're all part of this story. So it's a bunch of characters we might get for MCP. So I thought that'd be a
Right.
cool one for people to read. It's like all these
Well,
characters could show up.
technically, we did.
We got them in that thing as cards, but I mean, we might get them as characters too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just.
if you've played Separation Anxiety, a bunch of them show up there and can attach to your characters. But
That would be an interesting symbiotes faction.
yeah, people have wanted that since this game started.
Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be fun. Okay. Well, is there a list that anyone can think of that contains Venom that you would not specifically spider foes or web warriors?
I got one.
I don't think. I should clarify. His affiliations are spider foes and web warriors. Is there any other? I think
No,
that's it.
that's it. So I've
Okay.
got something you can put him in.
All right. What are you putting him in?
Whatever you want. He's really good.
Yep, that's the correct answer. That's right.
Just put him in your list.
And he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't need any support. Like he just
No.
does his own thing, and it's valuable. It's very useful.
But are there lists that we could put him in?
That where he'd be more advantageous. Yeah. What have you got, Steven?
Oh, for some reason, at 4 points, and at 4 points, and at 4 points, and at 5 points, you could run full suite of Sentinels plus Venom.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
And that is a pull crazy list.
Yes, it is. Oh boy. Bring brace for impact.
I'm just thinking outside the box, right? So, but
Yeah.
no, I think that, I mean, giving rerolls from Prime to Venom, yes, please. Under the skin, making him immune to bleed and poison, just because, right?
Right.
Also, give him fly.
Oh yes.
Well, very
He
useful
also
again.
needs fly.
Yeah, he would have a web crawler and fly irrelevantly.
Well, one of the most annoying things is when you're playing Venom and you do a We Are Venom and you only get like 0 damage on somebody and you're on 1 because you're hoping you get more and you're bleeding, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, dang it, now I got to shake it. So, but I think he would be, like Brad said, he's good everywhere. I don't know if he's the solution for Sentinels, but I'm saying he's not bad in Sentinels.
That I agree. I don't think he's bad anywhere. I brought him. He's in my Midnight Suns list, and largely because the Midnight Suns do attrition, and he is great at attrition. Now, I don't think I've ever brought him because there are just better options that are Midnight Suns affiliated, but he's in there. He's in. Yeah. Well.
He might be interesting in Shield too.
He is.
Maybe.
That's been talked about. I've heard. I don't listen to very many other podcasts, but I've heard people talk about that one.
And whereas you make him affiliated and then give him a Shield Mobile move.
And that, they don't even do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just draw him into the little attacks, right?
Well, it's like he'll get attacked from outside of range, and they'll use the shield leadership to move him into range to then counterattack.
Mm.
Ooh.
Well, there's a tactic card that you can use for that same effect if you're not in Shield, and that's what's that?
Once,
but it might be enough, right? So it's Warpath.
Yeah.
I've used Warpath against Cable and against Hawkeye, and the eyes on those people got really, really wide because they're like, I'm range 5. I'm like, I don't care. Warpath, attack. So.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for Venom. He's really good. Play him. Uh, the only thing that's left is for my non sequitur recommendation. So she who tolerates living with me and I have been. We recently got access to the Crunchyroll uh, streaming platform to watch anime, and we've been watching a show called uh, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I cannot more highly recommend this show. This show is excellent. It's incredibly good. And there's a character in it that I don't want to say who it is because it's kind of a spoiler, but his name is Pride, and he has these black tendrils that shoot out and stab people, and every time he's on screen, it reminds me of Venom. It's a very fitting visual, but he doesn't actually fit the character at all. But that's my recommendation. Watch the show. It's great, like with a capital G.
Fred, I don't think it's a spoiler because that series is pretty old.
So there's a series called Full Metal Alchemist that is a different anime than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
They're both
I know.
old, Fred.
Uh,
I know.
they're apparently that I've not seen Full Metal the original one, but this one is based entirely off of the manga, while the original one came out before the manga was finished, so they went off and did their own thing.
Right.
So
Well, this one's the rabbit hole. Okay, that's all I got to say. Is because you watch it and then you're like, I gotta watch the next one. Thank you.
yeah,
And
it kind of is. We were watching it before the podcast record, and when you sent 8 o'clock instead of 7:30, I was like, all right, that's another episode. We got one more in us.
it is literally a rabbit hole. How far are you in?
We are within the last 10 episodes. So
Okay, I think like in the starting with the last maybe the last 5 episodes get really wonky and weird. So be warned. So,
okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll be prepared. We
well,
are
I mean,
very
it
much
just
enjoying it.
you know how animes have to get bigger, faster, stronger, right?
Yes.
As you go
Yeah.
along. Yeah, that formula is very much alive here.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Well, that's it for us today. Everyone go out there and play a game with Venom, and I hope to see you all on Saturday, and we'll play some games at Fabricators Forge. See you everyone later.